Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning. It's about a little after 6:30, Sunday morning, March 22nd. Just wanted to jump on here with you while I had some quiet time to make a video before all my girls get up for the day. Since it is first thing in the morning, it might be a little groggy, but I'll do my best to not put you to sleep. Just a few more things I kind of wanted to touch on and kind of just share, make you think. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. I just want you to think about some stuff and adjust accordingly if adjustments are in fact needed. The first thing, I'm just going to touch on it real quick because I think a lot of people have been already, just because it's like the big buzzword or buzz phrase, I guess, social distancing. I don't think it's a bad idea, and that's not coming from fear or anything like that. It's actually pretty much the way I live my life all the time. I'm not exactly social, going out doing stuff with a ton of people all the time. Don't like big crowds. It's not to say I don't do things in big crowds. I like going to concerts, and I used to like going to sporting events. I don't really like doing that anymore, but definitely concerts. In fact, the last concert I went to, I got this jacket at a Tool concert. It was the last one I went to. Props to Tool. Anyway, sorry, I could get way off track talking about Tool and music. So I will not do that on this video sometime. But yeah, social distancing. I think it's a pretty good idea. I mean, I know after my days during the week, I don't want to get right back out and do stuff where there's a ton of people again. It's like everything I want to do and all the people I want to be around, for the most part. I mean, obviously I have people I want to be around that don't live here, but it's like everything I want and need is right here at my house with my family, and that's pretty much the only place I want to be whenever I'm, not doing the obligatory work stuff, So I basically practice social distancing all the time, and so that's why I don't think it's exactly a terrible idea. And it definitely doesn't need to be something scary. It's like, oh, we have to social distance ourselves to keep 3 feet away. Like, no, you just need to chill and do your own thing and stick with your family and soak in the love and, be productive around your own house, homestead, whatever you have. Take care of stuff you haven't been able to take care of because you're, too busy with all this other stuff, caught up in all this other unnecessary stuff. So just a quick touch on that. I know there's a ton of videos out there about that already, but I just wanted to share that. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, So what next and all this craziness? So division. We seem to love to divide and fight with each other over pretty much any topic we can, and it's so frustrating, and it's so old, and I know I'm over it. I'm completely over that. I love sharing perspectives with people, even if they're completely opposite of other people's perspectives. I love just having conversations and hearing other people's viewpoints and thinking about different ideas and stuff I've never given a chance and stuff I've just never even thought about. Even if I don't end up agreeing with it or making it a part of my life, I think it's vitally important to take into consideration what other people think about situations and how other people live their lives, even though you may not agree with it. You don't have to agree with it. It's not your life. And so it's the same with this, it's with politics, religion, anything meaningless on social media. We'll divide and fight and talk shit to each other and leave bad comments, and it's just so ridiculous. And it's the same thing with this. You've got people who are totally into the mainstream narrative on this, just like every other topic, who want to leave comments and kind of tell other people how irresponsible they're being whenever those people aren't passing on the fear-mongering and the panic. And then in turn, those people want to fight back and say, yeah, but all you're doing is just scaring everybody. That's not helpful, and it's just back and forth and back and forth. Which is exactly why I try not to read comments on almost anything. Sometimes I do just to get a feel for how people are reacting and how people are triggered about stuff. And boy, are people triggered. It's pretty massive triggering of emotions, which is completely understandable. It's just you need to take yourself away from this perspective you have that's way on this end of the spectrum and bring yourself slowly towards the middle so you can kind of see more and not just think everyone has to think the same way as you and everyone has to prepare the same way as you. And I get it, you can act however you want about it, but I know my perspective is just pay attention and be smart and live your life with love, and don't panic and don't live in fear. Those two things literally don't help anything. Okay, I can't think of one situation where panic is the answer. It's never the answer. Not to say you can't learn from it, because obviously you can, but that is a very non-productive way to react to situations. Other than the fact that it will show other people how not to act, and so it can be used as a teaching tool, obviously. But let's just try not to react that way and try not to, talk down to other people who aren't reacting the same as you. It's just completely silly. I feel like just live your life and talk about your opinions and your perspectives, but just talk about it. We don't have to convince each other. We don't have to change everybody's minds. We don't have to all think the same way. So let's just chill out on that and just respect everyone's viewpoint and move on with your own way of doing things. Because that's really what we need to be focusing on. Again, going back to the social distancing thing. Stop focusing on everyone else. Stop trying to do stuff with everyone else. Be with you and your family and figure out what's best for you. Another thing I wanted to kind of touch on was, hold that thought, that might be my 3-year-old. Okay, so 14 hours later, and I am back with you. I just wanted to jump back on here to finish up this video, finish up these thoughts, so I can go ahead and try to get this posted tonight. So I just finished a point, so I was about to move on. So yeah, another thing I got to thinking about is how we're all completely, not all of us, but how a lot of people are responding to the normal cold and flu stuff differently now. So normally this time of year, I usually get some type of head cold or something like that, just kind of almost like a body reset, just kind of a rest, something along those lines. And I would never think anything of it. No one around me would think anything of it. But now, if I were to get that, what would people's thoughts be? And another exact example of what I'm talking about is this one guy I know through work. A few weeks ago, maybe a little over a month ago, got sick, and it was the coughing, the aches, and everything that goes along with it. And he was probably sick for a total of like 2 weeks or something like that, at least. But he went to work every day. No one at his work thought he was contagious or was worried about it. I never thought he was contagious, and I was never worried about it. I've got a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old. So if anyone's going to be worried, but I was never worried about it. He was never worried about getting anyone else sick. He was still doing his thing. But if he were to get that now, everyone at his work would probably think he was going to get him sick, and they would take it home and be deathly ill with this pandemic. Just the perspective on just normal illness and normal symptoms of disease just kind of have inflated enormously. So again, I'm not trying to downplay anything. I just want you guys to just think about these things, okay? And just like how they're saying how at risk elderly are and newborns. It's like they're always at risk, and other people with weakened immune systems, they're always at risk. It's not just this. This didn't just come along and target these people. They're the ones that are always at risk for stuff, or most at risk for stuff. So again, not to downplay anything, just want you to get some thoughts going in other directions. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on too, is if you're used to seeing things from a certain perspective, like if you're watching mainstream news all the time, or if all you watch is alternative sources that are on the other side of the coin, like branch out and look at something that you're not looking at, that's sharing a perspective that you have not been giving much of a chance. To just try to learn something or try to think about it differently, and just try to let this not rule your life, okay? Just like I've already said, just do your thing and be with your family. Do some things that you normally wouldn't get to do, and just make it an opportunity, So I think that's probably all I wanted to really touch on. And just depending on what else happens in the next week or two, this will probably be the last time I talk about this, or at least make a video about it. But we'll see, and we'll see what else comes. I've got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of different projects, very exciting stuff. So I'll try to keep you guys updated, make videos when I can, when I feel inspired to. And yeah, if there's any news on anything, I'll let you know. And as always, you can check out my website, www.thespiral.life. And let's see what else. My email is joshbrown@thespiral.life. Instagram @thespiral.life. And that should be about it. If you want to donate, if you like what I'm doing, want to donate in any way, you can. Let's see, Cash App is joshuggah, $joshuggah, like Meshuggah, but joshuggah. And what else? PayPal is paypal.me/spirallife, I believe. I need to get a little logo thing or a little image to put at the end of these videos, so I don't have to say it every time. But yeah, thanks for joining me again. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you soon. Much love, guys. See ya.